yeah, there's just a shit that happened and even more that I could like go into, because then that's just my history, and then I'm also channeling um the histories of a lot of people who have passed on, and like the reason why they're working with me is because the same kind of energy and entities that like kind of push them towards their deaths um through like dark magic or whatever the fuck are the same ones that are trying to work against me, and it's part of the reason why I'm like so good right now is because I have like a whole force of people, and then the forces that worked with those people who are working with me to make sure that this does not happen. I'm not going down the way they did, right? Because I knew that they were trying to take me out on the 11/11/24 portal, and I was like, not today, bitch. Not today, my good bitch. Um, and I'm grateful that I've been able to kind of like build up my spiritual prowess, because on top of all like the physical nonsense I've been going through, the magical nonsense has actually been insane. And I don't even know how to fully articulate that. And I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to. Um, but like my mom wasn't the only one who had incidents on portal days. Like, um, it's been really fucked up and bad, my dude. Like my grandma passed on a portal day. My grandpa passed on Christmas. And then there's like this whole thing where like I know my granddad was and grandma said they were gonna leave my mom the house, but my aunt got it. And so and then like after he passed, my mom they took control of my mom's finances, and her finances are insane. They got her shit going through like 18 different accounts, and I'm like, why the fuck are y'all doing that? She had a stroke. She can barely understand it the way it was before. And it's like weird, like in her main account, all the money that goes into it comes out of it and it goes into another account, and then through that account they're doing her, it's a shared account where they're doing her finances, but then she doesn't have access to her own money for real. They buy stuff for her, and like she's not that. But that's another story. I'm not there anymore. It's none of my business. But all that to say, weird, right? Because she didn't have access to those other accounts where her money is going, and I'm like, what's actually going on with that? Because that didn't make sense. And I feel like there's this energy where they feel like I'm not going to have enough money to get a probate lawyer to look into it. Um, and they all think I'm all about the money over there, but I think for them it's all about the money, because why would you let me go through all this fucking shit? I think there's this degree of like, oh, she's insane, but now that I'm in a city that like honors magic, and like my story has not changed. There were just 18, 15 million weird ass shits happening to me at once. And sometimes I'm concerned that like some of the interactions I had, I sound crazy talking about them. But like those are the ones I feel comfortable talking about, because like I can evidently prove it. I know that there are people who were brought in just to say weird shit to make me think that crazy stuff was happening. But then there were also people who were doing weird shit and making crazy stuff happen. So the people who they hired, just like the people who were like socially, like just kind of like feeding me bullshit to make me think I was crazy, thought I was crazy, because there was actually like a higher level crazy shit happening. And the problem was that there were multiple secret organizations that were focused on me at the same time. And for at one point, I thought it was all one thing, but then I realized there was a lack of communication, because they're all, high clearance programs with no inter-office communication. So I was just like getting fucking thrashed around by like 18 different waves, right? And at least now, by kind of speaking to it more, there is more clarity. Now that I have more clarity, I'm able to speak to it more clearly because there was a point in time where this shit was so crazy. I had to. I'm living in a fucking tent. No one's giving me money to get a new key made for my car because my keys got stolen. I'm fighting with everyone I've ever loved because I feel like a rabid animal because that's the only way I feel like I could survive all this fucking street life and then going back home and then my stomach was cut open and all this other shit, bro. It was insane. Um, and then on top of that, people just wanted to play on my top. Like, I'm not going to get back everything I lost and destroy you. Destroy you. And I'm not going to get in trouble for it either. That's the beautiful thing. I'm going to get away with it, bitch. If I haven't already. Because I really do think, like, the biggest revenge is my get back and, like, having a place of my own where I can, like, really start to invest in my businesses and my art again. Making art again felt so powerful. Once I get my gaming rig back together, I'm so excited to start streaming on Twitch because I got into a couple of Twitch guilds and I was like hosting events and stuff. Like I was starting to become a big time, you know, computer person, right? And it's just a matter of time before all that stuff comes back to me, and I don't want to rush myself into doing it because I think the most important thing about this stage of my journey was like, bro, all that shit was so crazy and so traumatic. And like when people try to speak about, oh, you had a traumatic event and it made it difficult, I had like 800 traumatic events all at once. I had like severely intense breakups. I had people who were getting puppeteered thinking that I'm trying to like spiritually attack them. And I'm not trying to spiritually attack them. I think most of the time people perceived a spiritual attack and really I'm just imploding because my life was so garbage. And the people who everyone thought was helping me were lying about helping me. You know? And that is just hard to deal with. Um, but I know everything balances out, and like I'm really grateful that I can be back in my bed at 12:36 and sleeping peacefully. Because even when I was back at home with mom with all the shit going on, I couldn't sleep. I hadn't didn't. I'm grateful that I didn't have to sleep on the streets for a long period of time, but like the things I saw, like physically, and then there's a whole other ordeal of like the psychic visions I've seen of like the people who have passed away. They are like really big motivators for me to follow through on this stuff. But the things I've seen, like psychically on my journey, they're just fucked up, dude. They are fucked up. And I think that my ability to demonstrate like holding it together, but also demonstrating love and light is not because I live a love and light life. It's because I engage very diligently and very fruitfully in a love and light practice. So don't fucking push me, bitch. Don't fucking push me, bitch, because you're gonna fuck around and find out. And it's never necessary to push me to that degree. People who have fucked with me a few times, they figure it out and they move accordingly. But sometimes people don't get the message. Sometimes people fuck around for a few years. And who knows how long they'll be finding out, you know? But I think it's fair. And it's because, like, I think I respond very well to people setting reasonable boundaries with me. Like, you really don't have to do much. The only reason why I will act crazy is because you're creating a situation where there's no communication, no clarity. And the only thing I can do is act crazy in that situation because, like, there's no grounding for me to move forward in a place of mutuality, right? But if you're real with me, I'll be fucking real back. And like if I'm a problem, I'll fucking bounce out of there but I feel like I'm really good at like resolving conflict when people are clear, you know? And I don't even need you to be super autistically clear either. You know, there's a reason why I'm loved a lot by a lot of people. And then when there's people who I don't fuck with, there's reasons, bitch. You know?